In Islam, we are taught that paradise lies at the feet of the mother. So being that female and bringing that kind of female spirit into our work makes a difference in everything we do.
So Sisters United is a nonprofit organization. It's a volunteer-based service organization. They've been around for the past 26 years, which we're really excited about and a real blessing. Sisters United was founded here in Atlanta by a group of Muslim women that really were interested in wanting and had a desire to be of service to community.
The mission of Sisters United is to serve humanity. So we're a human service organization, and we serve the homeless and hungry every week. We've been doing it for over 27 years. And we do a Rites of Passage program for young girls matriculating into adulthood, as well as scholarships annually for those matriculating into upper education, as well as other forms of education, so we don't discriminate. And we also do an Interfaith Health and Human Service Conference annually. And our goal really is whenever there's a human service need that comes to us, whether it's benevolence, someone in need of funds, that we're able to, even if it's $50, $200, we're able to address those needs.
So the health conference is an interfaith conference where people, of course, of different faiths come together, and it really focuses on health. And so there are different aspects where we have components for teens as well as the adults. And we've served different communities for the last 20 years. Going into 2025, I think we're going to be doing some different things, so I'm super excited about the new changes that we have coming along.
Faith is the core and the center of everything we do. As I said before, our logo is working for the pleasure of Allah. So in everything we do, we want to make sure that it centers on faith and good works that we provide to the community. We want to serve everybody and serve humankind. That's what Al-Islam teaches us, to be about doing the good works that are out there. So we don't necessarily center in on what our religion is, but we're grounded and centered on knowing that God provides, and for everything that we do, we're out there providing to other people because we've been blessed to be able to do that.
We actually many of us were members of various sisters organizations, and a few of us decided that rather than having a service and social component, that we really were interested in focusing on just the service component. And Sisters United in Human Service was born out of that desire by just a handful of us, maybe more than a handful, maybe 15 women, some of whom are still members, founding members like myself. Kyria Faiz, our wonderful President Emeritus, may Allah be pleased with her, she has transitioned. She was our founding president, and she really carried the vision for Sisters United. And many of us, we came up with our bylaws, and a lot of the principles that govern us still today. And we've grown, and we've evolved, but some of our core programs are still in place. The feeding program, the Interfaith Health and Human Service Conference, the Rites of Untha program, which probably started at about the second year or so after the organization started. We still have those core programs.
I feel like my experience with Sisters United was, I've always sort of been I was voluntold in some ways. My mother was a former president, and my mother has since transitioned. It's been about 10 years now. And so my mother was one of the founding members and the president of Sisters United, and it was her heart's work. And so she would wrote me in and say, Tia, could you do this flyer? Or Tia, can you design this newsletter? Or and so that's really how I started. But I was always have been sort of, I would do what my mother told me to do, and would find myself doing some of the work and helping and assisting and lifting as much as I can for her. So whether that was putting notebooks together or helping her set up for an event. But I feel like Sisters United has been a part of my life for a very long time.
To be able to be in their footsteps, doing that continuously every week is just phenomenal for me, and just an honor to live into that legacy and just that generation of giving and service. And as a dignified woman of faith, that I'm able to offer someone what I would eat. So we also offer our kosher halal meals to those in need. So we don't just feed anything, we offer them what we eat. And so, and also just, a smile, a conversation, all of those things, just to see that continuity. And we also encourage our young ladies who go through the rites of passage to do it as well. And so just that history of women living out their faith in action, that's really where it began.
So the Rites of Untha program, as I remember it from a few years ago, was really a program to help young Muslim women, young girls who are becoming women, kind of have that rites of passage by learning more about their religion, as well as how that is practically, how to practically live out the religion and through different aspects of life. So then we had a lot of workshops where Muslim women through the community, through different professions, would come and talk about what they do and how they live their life as a Muslim woman. We would have more general workshops talking about health, and we would have workshops talking about mental health specifically. We had one about our physical anatomy, understanding physical anatomy, and embracing that as women, and then as well as like our mental health and how to look out for signs in ourselves as well as in others, were two that really stood out to me even to this day. I think Rites of Untha and Sisters United were a part of this bigger experience I had as a child growing up in an African American Muslim community, specifically as an African American Muslim. It's that sense of immediate validation without even having to be said, because you see the people around you reflecting you, and you see them doing amazing things and just living freely without that pressure to be something that they're not. So I think Rites of Untha was a part of that bigger experience of being surrounded not only by authority figures who look like me and who I want to be like, but also being with my peers and having deeper connection with my peers who are also a part of this community.
Having to bridge and make sure we transition, like I said, the wisdom and knowledge and experience from the older sister to the younger sister, so that she understands that we do things with compassion, but at the same time we teach from the younger to the older some of the kinds of things that help us to be relative today and to move on, to update the programs that we've had. As I said, these programs are 25 years old, so when we need to change, we need to be able to listen and be able to listen at different voices.
It's a busy day. The phone calls, the ordering of items, packing of items, but also too just bringing everyone together. So Sisters United is a group of women from all facets of life. So some are corporate, some are at home working, some may not work at all, some have children, some don't, some are 80 years old, and some are 20 something. And so to kind of get everyone together on the same page in the age of technology, we have to do email and WhatsApp and maybe a handout in a snail mail, something like that, where everyone feels included. No one feels that this isn't for me and I don't have a way to contribute, but that everyone can respond to the call. We check on one another. When it was a snowstorm, how are you doing? Do you have everything you need? And I think that kind of camaraderie, sisterhood, passion, of just genuine concern for one another, it promotes that unity, and it helps us to be able to do the work that we do, because I know you care about me and I care about you.
Oh man, we have a good time when we're together. I will say that. So because we've had, like when we have our retreats and whenever we come together, I think the first thing that, like when you see someone, automatically you start smiling and you feel a sense of love. That's what we feel when we see each other all the time. And it's kind of topped off when we are able to do fun things together. So, we laugh together, and we sing together, and we dance together. And we can be very serious when it comes to the work, but we're also very serious when it comes to like just being friends and having our friendship. And so that's important. And so the camaraderie that we have with one another is very, very beautiful. And it's very authentic, meaning that like we can be ourselves without having to put on any type of false facade. And I think that that's the beauty of our organization.
The beautiful thing about Sisters United is that there is something about your heart that is connected to the work just naturally. I think that being someone who wants to be of service to God, there's so many opportunities, whether it's the Rites of Passage program, or whether it's feeding the homeless, or whether it's our health conference. There is a space to in Sisters United to give. And so I think it's really nice and cool because now I have a daughter who's 5. This is it's not only just been my mother's legacy, but then this is also part of my legacy too. It's part of the work that I give. It's part of how I show up, how my faith is sort of manifested physically. My work in action. And so I pray that this is also an example for her too, to have a space to give. I feel like there's a quote by Muhammad Ali that our service is almost like our is payment for like our time here. And I'm paraphrasing, it's a bad paraphrase, but I feel like Sisters United gives me an opportunity to find space to serve in whatever capacity, and that feels really good.
When we're able to like get the job done, like completing a health conference for over 300 people, serving youth, adults, elders and children, and everyone is leaving with a smile on their face, or we're able to come together with interfaith prayer. We're able to serve together and see the community working and moving based on that 3-hour meeting that we had and we endured to ensure that the work got done. And so I think at the end of the day, when we're able to see the fruits of that labor of love and, that I think it's just human existence, right? Like everything is not going to be easy. There are going to be struggles and tests. And so just to be able to see the outcome of that, and that we were able to be effective and impact others, that is like icing on the cake.
We've been doing this a long time, and so we kind of have it down to, like a science, down to an assembly line. We feed every Sunday, and we're assigned to different teams. So this is the 3rd Sunday team, and we have members of that team. Each of the feeding coordinators, or the team coordinators, each week does a little differently, but we have our particular week, we're asked to bring certain things. We have a list that goes out through email, and we purchase those products, and we come ready to lay them out on the table and have our assembly line going. Somebody opens the bag, somebody puts the applesauce in, and the oranges and the bananas, and we usually have other items already prepared, so we just put them all in and we wrap it up and put it in the box or put it in the crate. And it was very efficient, went very well. There's always a really good spirit. We start off, as you probably captured, we start off with an opening prayer, just to get everybody in the right frame of mind, make sure everybody's in, whatever came with you, attitude came with you, you leave it outside. And we go through the process, and we close with prayer and, bless what we've done to go to the right people and to feed the homeless. And there are quite a few quite a few. So it's really almost an overwhelming situation of those who are in need, you know, in Atlanta and around the country. Yes, we have seen homelessness increase a lot. Encampments around the city have increased a lot. And in weather like this, people are just walking the streets. Now, you don't see them everywhere, but there are pockets of homelessness around the city. Usually in, you know, certain areas of the city where you don't have as many, you know, we're outside of the business district, in more unpopulated areas, in little corners and pockets, you'll see people. They're in front of the Gateway homeless shelter because they have to leave in the morning, and some of them they're just there on the street. It's going to be 19 degrees today, and these people have no place to be except for out in 19 degrees. And it just, sometimes it wakes me up at night, to tell you the truth. Thinking about how we can live in a society that's so wealthy, but can't take care of the least of us, and don't have a heart or a desire to do it. Let them pull themselves up by their bootstraps. I was in Walmart yesterday and had an opportunity to help a homeless woman. She was in a Walmart, walking around with a wheelchair with all of her belongings stacked on the wheelchair. She was walking in socks. That's all she had on her feet, like 3 or 4 pairs of socks. She had a colostomy bag, and she was homeless. There should be some place that can help someone like that, where they don't just have to be on the street. I thought about her this morning. I said, she had socks on her feet. How is she going to deal with 19-degree weather? She's a human being. So those are the, you know, I know what we do helps only a little bit. Only a little bit, but it is of great concern. Of great concern.
Why do I stay? Why am I here? I think it's almost become a part of who I am, you know? Like I remember as a young girl, my mom taking bottles of water in downtown Miami and giving cups of water to people. Like she was just like, they may just be thirsty, it's hot, it's Miami. And so I grew up seeing the women in my community serving just the human need. And so it didn't matter, there was no discrimination. It didn't matter who it was, what was needed, they came together and they pooled the resources and they made it happen. And so for me as a young girl at 8 years old, seeing that of my mom, I saw myself. And when I think about it now, I actually get, you know, just a little teary-eyed thinking that I'm living into that legacy of what has been established before us.
The need is inspiring. The fact that people need assistance. And if you are blessed with, if you've been blessed with enough to be able to assist, nobody's asking you to go broke doing it. Just give a little bit. And if everybody just gives a little bit, a lot can be done. A lot can be done. So while you have the opportunity and the chance, give something to assist those who may not have as much as you, because you could be that person. There's a hand on top and there's a hand on the bottom. Fortunately, we're the hand that's giving, but one day we may be that hand on the bottom that needs. And I would pray that I would hope that somebody was there to put their hand on top of mine when I'm in that position. So yeah, that's just kind of a core value of Islam. It's a core value of a lot of faiths. It's not just Islam. It's, faith people, good people. Even if people don't declare a faith, good people do these things. And that to me is a spirit of that we need to have more in our culture and society. Yes, sometimes it does feel overwhelming. And but I always find that if you do, you feel better. If you do, you feel more empowered. If you do, you feel more hope. And so sometimes you just have to, shut off that mantra in your head that says, I can't make a difference. It doesn't matter what I do. Just shut that down and just do. And I find that does, I find that I'm empowered by that. Yeah.
We see you. And I think that's the most important thing, is letting people know that I see you. And as a family member, I would want to be acknowledged. I would want to be seen. And so just in that simple essence of me conveying that love and that generosity without discrimination, it really, to me, encompasses who we are and what we seek to do. It's funny because the joke is Sisters United is always there. Everywhere they turn around, people are like, Sisters United is always there. We have aprons, we have shirts, we're showing up, whether it's, someone's family member just passed, we'll go to their home with flowers, with food. Someone has been in the hospital, we're there. They say, I received a card. Like, how does Sisters United even know where I live? And so I think we're just that quiet organization, but that's making big, loud moves. And I think each time we seek to see what is the need in the community, where are the gaps, where are the voids, and we try to fill that. And so I would say, I'm just really proud of us. I'm really proud of us.